So you're thinking about moving to Bend, Oregon, or maybe somewhere east of Bend, Oregon. Well, that's exactly what we're going to be covering in today's video. Today is all about a little road trip to the east of town. We're heading out to eastern Deschutes County, going into Crook County. We're going to show you what country living is all about east of Bend, east of Redmond, etc. So we're going to get in the car. We're going to start driving east. We're going to go by the Bend Airport. We're going to go by a couple of golf resorts that have great community living in them. And then we're going to venture into Crook County and get all the way down to Prineville to cap the video off, to give you guys a feel for what it's like to live out in the country, a little bit east of where we are typically in Bend and Redmond. So if this video sounds like it's for you, stick around. We're going to be getting after this tour of eastern Deschutes County right now. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living, eating, sleeping, working, playing, the good and the bad of living in Bend and surrounding Central Oregon, then subscribe to the channel and tap that notification bell below so you can be the first to know about the current market here in Bend and sunny, yes, still sunny in November, Central Oregon. My name's Ryan and I've lived in Bend for over 30 years. My business partner Zach and I, we get calls and texts every day from people just like you, looking for help on making their smooth move to Bend or somewhere else in Central Oregon. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or even set up a Zoom. We have a Calendly link in our banner of our homepage on the YouTube channel for you guys to click and schedule that Zoom meeting. So with that being said, we're going to be getting after this tour right now of eastern Deschutes County, the rural lifestyle, the country living that goes to the road, Burns, Ontario, Oregon, and the road to Boise, Idaho. So eastern Oregon is where we're at right now. It's basically the precipice of eastern Oregon, the edge of Bend on the east side. So that's what we're going to be doing right now. We've got Highway 20 right behind me now, so a lot of traffic going eastbound, coming into Bend from the west. And we're just going to be taking a look at what it looks like out here on the eastern part and the gateway to eastern Oregon. So let's hop in the car right now, and we will be getting after the tour and this little road trip right now. So we're now on the Powell Butte Highway. We're heading northeast bound towards Prineville, Powell Butte, the Bend Airport. This is known as Alfalfa here. This is a lot of rural property, a lot of irrigated land. People live just about 5 to 10 minutes outside of the eastern edge of Bend. That's where the Costco's are. That's where a lot of car dealerships are. That's where Pilot Butte is. The hospital's nearby. You can see the hospital sign right up here to the right as we enter a roundabout. Yeah, there's still roundabouts out here in rural Central Oregon as well. So that's something to keep in mind. There are roundabouts everywhere. This is Alfalfa Market Road to the right. We're going to continue on straight on the highway that leads us eventually to Powell Butte and then the gateway to Prineville and Crook County. So as we continue moving on, what you'll see to the right here, a lot of pasture, a lot of rural land, farmland. People are out here and they are growing in alfalfa, go figure. Among other things, they've got, there's farms, there's a lot of horse property out here. You can see the cows off to the left there. So there are ranchers that live just a few minutes from Bend. And if that's something of curiosity to you, where you could be living the farm life, the country living life, and just be 5 to 10 minutes away from Bend and the city, then this could be an option for you as you are doing your due diligence when looking into Bend and surrounding Central Oregon, because it's pretty unique here that we don't have to go too far away to be out in the country and just have a completely different vibe and a different culture than living in the city. But if you still want to have that buffer zone, the separation in between neighbors, then you have that option and still be relatively close to town. So it's not like it's going to be a 30 or 60 minute drive to get from where you are living to where you need to go. There is a little bit of a a separation, but it's really not that bad. So as we continue on, we're heading northbound right now. We're actually approaching the Bend Municipal Airport, not to be confused with the Redmond Airport, which is more of our commercial hub. That's about 15 miles to the north of where I'm driving right now. So I'm going to pull into the airport here, give you guys a little feel for what's going on at the Bend Municipal Airport. But you can see all the hangars here to the right as we approach. There's cars here, but this is a place where a lot of people will come to learn how to fly planes. They have their private planes here. Sometimes there's private jets that will fly in here and park and skip the Redmond Airport portion of it, because the runway is long enough to accommodate private airplanes as well. So I'm at the Bend Municipal Airport here, 5 miles to the northeast of Bend. We're on the road to Powell Butte and Prineville, and this is actually our closest airport to Bend. It's a municipal airport, not to be mistaken with Roberts Field, which is in Redmond. That's our commercial hub here. But this is a smaller airport. There's 2 different flight schools, a lot of activity. Believe it or not, this is the 3rd busiest airport in the state of Oregon based off of touchdowns and takeoffs, things of that nature, but it's all private planes, right? And so you can see here, if I pan around, we've got jets over here to my left. We've got a lot of smaller single-engine Cessna style planes here, but this area here actually employs over 500 people. There are dozens of businesses actually at the site of this airport here. There's a restaurant upstairs to my right. As we just walk around, what we get a feel for is just the open layout of where we're at. We're in eastern Deschutes County right here, and there's just so much activity at this particular airport. Like I said, there's 2 different flight schools. A lot of people in this area end up moving to Bend, and they love to fly too. They have passion for aviation and things like that. And so this is a very busy airport, albeit it's a private airport. And so everybody has their own private plane. There are almost 100 different hangars here that house the private planes that people own. But we are close to a lot of different things. And within the state of Oregon and the Northwest, a lot of people that will live in the Central Oregon area, they end up just flying their private plane to another municipal airport to get from point A to point B. We are a little isolated when it comes to the micro landscape of Bend in Central Oregon, because we're on the eastern side of the Cascade Mountains. So there's a lot of people that will end up just flying over to Eugene or over to Corvallis or to Portland on their own without maybe the use of a commercial flight or having to drive over, because it's like a 3, sometimes 4-hour flight, sometimes a 3 or 4 hour drive over the hill. And so again, we are isolated on this side of the mountains with regard to where the other towns and other big hubs are in the Oregon State area. But again, like the commercial flights are going to be taken off over at Roberts Field, our commercial airport in Redmond. But again, a lot of people love just coming out here to learn how to fly, because the landscape of Central Oregon is just so spectacular. There's just so much scenery, especially from an aerial view. There's a lot of helicopter training programs at this airport as well. So there's just a lot of activity at this particular airport. We're on the eastern side of Bend, about 5 miles to the northeast. But again, if we look back here, we're going to start to see a lot of the housing that's in the area as well. So big areas with a lot of land, farmland, homes that have separation between one home from another. And we have the airport right here as well. So what we're going to do now is hop back in the car. We're going to continue on our road trip here. As we continue a little bit northeast, we'll get to some other developments, some other subdivisions out here, out in the county of Deschutes, and then eventually we'll cross over into Crook County, and we'll continue on looking at some more of the areas where people tend to live that's out in the country, not so close to the city life of Bend. As we continue eastbound here on the Powell Butte Highway, you can notice that it's just really wide open range here. It's just a bunch of juniper trees, right? So when we talk about how Bend is right on the edge of that tree line, ponderosa's to the west and juniper trees to the east, we're not kidding. So we're just a few miles outside of Bend to the east, and what you're noticing here is sagebrush and juniper trees. There's really no ponderosa pine trees at all because of our elevation. We slope downward as we continue going east and to the north. And Bend is right on the edge of the mountains there, so it's at 3,600 feet. We're probably driving at about 2,900 to 3,000 feet right here as we take a left into the Pronghorn and Juniper Preserve Resort, which is a fantastic golf resort. There's 2 golf courses in here, and designed by Jack Nicklaus and Tony Fazio back probably in the early 2000s. This is like a 3 to 4 mile winding road that goes into the resort, but it is just a fantastic golf resort. We're going to get up there and show you guys around 2 of the more challenging golf courses in the area. There are celebrities that will come out here. They'll actually fly their plane. They will land them at the Bend Municipal Airport, and they will just come on over here, about a 5-minute drive to the Juniper Preserve and the Pronghorn Resort area, and they'll just spend 3 or 4 days out here playing golf. Maybe head over to Brasada Ranch as well, which is a little bit further down the road, but 2 fantastic golf resorts east of Bend that basically are just worlds all by themselves. Pretty cool areas, and the golf courses are very challenging, but it's just a great resort. Just a great vibe here. We have a event every year called the Ghost Tree, kind of a charity style event, and there's an event called the Dinner on the Range. It's on the driving range of Pronghorn, and it's just a great summer event. The sun goes down over the mountains, and it's usually in late July or early August, and it's just a fantastic event. But again, it's just easy to get out here, about a 15-minute drive from Bend, but there's also plenty of people that live out here as their primary residence that will then drive into Bend on a daily basis for work. So as we continue on this road, we'll get closer, and we'll catch up with you guys once we get to the resort and show you guys around that a little bit. Now we've entered the Pronghorn Resort area here, and there are hundreds of residences. They include golf membership, but these homes are just spectacular. I mean, they got this Tuscan style vibe to them, and just out here in the juniper trees, open land, great resort here as we approach the hotel. We're gonna zip by the driving range and see maybe part of the golf course, but truly a spectacular gem here in eastern Deschutes County as a golf resort and just a place to stay. If you guys are looking for a place to vacation and maybe stay out here in eastern Deschutes County while you're just kind of exploring the Bend and Central Oregon area, this is truly a remarkable little piece of property here. Something that's pretty cool about this area here, it's a 640-acre resort. We are east of Bend about 11 miles, a little bit lower elevation. The golf course is still open. We're in mid to late November right now. There's no snow out here. It's about 52 degrees, and there's people getting ready for golf today. And that's something that's unique in comparison to, say, the resorts, golf courses in Bend or Sun River, other areas of Central Oregon that are known for their golf. So we're at a spot in Central Oregon, different style of climate than, say, in Bend or up in Sun River. And this gives you year-round access to a world-renowned golf resort right here. This is kind of the hub of everything. The Huntington Lodge, 104-room luxury 5-star resort, is right behind us. It's a hotel. There are multiple restaurants, multiple swimming pools. There's tennis courts, there's pickleball, there's a spa here, and there's also hundreds of home sites. They range anywhere in between, say, 1,500 square feet up to 6,000 square feet. The average is about 3,500 square feet. Home prices right now range in between, say, $1 million and up to $4 million, in that range. Median days on market for Pronghorn homes is actually quite large. It's maybe 100 as of this moment. So it's a little bit off the beaten path. It's kind of a resort style, maybe a second home area, but there's plenty of people that live here as a primary residence. So we'll continue moving around this area, the resort, show you some of the homes, maybe drive down some of the residential streets to give you guys a feel for what the vibe of the neighborhoods are while living and visiting Pronghorn Resort here. So I just parked the car, now I'm hoofing it, but I'm on Bering Drive here in the heart of Pronghorn. Truly a remarkable street here, some of the most majestic homes I've seen in this area here as we're traversing by right now. We're going to be coming up on one that is for sale right now. And the homes in this area here, they range in between, say, 3,000 up to 5,000 on this particular stretch of road. The one that I'm coming up on to my left here has been on the market now for 26 days. It's 3,300 square feet, 4-bed, 3-bath. It's listed at just under $2 million. So that gives you guys a feel for where we're at here in the market here in Pronghorn as we continue moving down the road. But there are several dozen homes that are for sale. Like I said earlier in the video, a lot of times they'll last on the market for a little bit longer than typical, just because of the proximity of where they're at. So a lot of people that end up moving into the Pronghorn Resort, it's kind of a second home area, but there still are plenty of people that will call the Pronghorn Resort their primary residence. But just looking at the lay of the land here, in these homes, typically about 10 to 15 years old. The resort's been around for about that amount of time, so established, but there's still plenty of home sites that are available, and those will range anywhere from $150,000 maybe up to $400,000 depending on where they're located here in the resort. Some are right on the golf course, some are off the beaten path, that sort of thing. But there is a golf club membership included, so that is another expense. There is HOA. It's typically $260 to $300 a month, depending on where we're at within the resort. There are 4 different subdivisions or neighborhoods that comprise the Pronghorn area, but this gives you guys a lay of the land here. Just truly spectacular. It's majestic, a great neighborhood here, and we're about 11 miles just outside of Bend. So we'll continue moving on with our Eastern Deschutes County tour. As we go further east, we'll get up to Powell Butte. That's where Brasada Ranch is. That's where the Powell Butte community is, a fantastic area in its own right. And that area might have the best views in Central Oregon. So let's continue on, and we'll see you guys in just a little bit. Okay, we just took a left out of Pronghorn Resort. We are continuing on the Powell Butte Highway to the east. Our next stop will be Brasada Ranch, about another 8 to 9 miles to the east here. Actually, that's on the other side of the Deschutes County, Crook County line, just on the other side of it. So we will show you guys what it's all about here on this drive, continuing in the Oregon Badlands here. Juniper trees everywhere, kind of wide open. It's late November right now, and it's still sunny out. It's about 52 degrees. It's a beautiful day. So we will continue on. We'll see you shortly here at Brasada Ranch. So now I made it up to Brasada Ranch. As you can see behind me, truly majestic panoramic views of the Cascade Mountains. We are on the edge of Powell Butte here. So if I pan up behind me, you can kind of see the slope of Powell Butte going upwards. We're in Crook County now, but truly one of the premier resort style communities in all of Central Oregon. You see the pool behind me there. There's a water slide, one of the better pool scenes in all of Central Oregon in the summertime at its peak. This is a place where families and people come from all walks just to hang out and vacation here, but there's also dozens of homes for sale right now. There are hundreds of home sites. They slope up Powell Butte, and the higher you go, the windier it gets, albeit you still get the better view of all of our peaks in Central Oregon here. So Brasada Ranch, it broke ground back in the early 2000s, right around 2005, and it is one of the premier resort style communities right now. There are 2 restaurants in functionality right now. They operate and they are ranch style, just a great spot to go hang out. Weddings here happen all the time. The golf course, it's an 18-hole golf course. It slopes up the hill as well, so you get absolutely stunning views. Truly one of the more remarkable areas in Central Oregon as it relates to resort style living. We've got Sun River Resort, we've got Eagle Crest Resort, we've got Pronghorn, which we just went and saw, and now we're up here at Brasada Ranch. So there are multiple full-scale resorts available, but there's also primary residences in all of those resorts as well. The homes in Brasada Ranch range anywhere between, say, cabin-style units that are under 1,000 square feet all the way up to 6,000 square foot units, and they typically range in price point from, say, high 7s for the cabin styles, and then the homes themselves can get all the way up to $3 million, and they are absolutely stunning. They're typically on the tour of homes every July, but there are multiple pools here. There's an adult-only pool up here to my left, live music going on there throughout the summertime. There's a everybody included style pool over here. As you can see, there is a full food and beverage service at the pool, so you feel like you're in truly a resort when you're here, whether you live here primarily or you're just visiting. So Brasada Ranch, another fantastic area here east of Bend, about 20 miles or so. We're going to continue on our tour. There are other areas to live, other subdivisions on Powell Butte, in the Powell Butte area, that are not included or part of the Brasada Ranch area. But we wanted to show you what Brasada Ranch is all about, so you get a feel for what resort style living can truly be like here in the Central Oregon area. We've got friends that live in Brasada Ranch that use Redmond, or they use the amenities of Bend on a daily basis, and so they don't mind the drive. If you don't mind a drive, then you can live out here too. It's really not that bad. You've seen some of the footage as we've driven out here. We drove by the airport, we drove by Pronghorn, but this gives you guys a feel for what the Brasada Ranch style resort is all about. So we'll continue on our tour here of eastern Deschutes County and now into Crook County to give you guys a better understanding of what eastern Central Oregon living is all about. Truly spectacular. Now as we continue our tour of Powell Butte, this is more like old Powell Butte up here. We're on Sage Drive right here. We're going by a listing right now. This is a manufactured home. We're up here on the butte, not Brasada Ranch. driving by it right there, it's listed at $440,000, but on the market now for 81 days. So there are different versions of Powell Butte that you can choose to live on too. There's no HOA in this particular neighborhood. You can see here, there's cars parked out, there's RVs, and you have the luxury of not having to abide by certain HOA style rules. If you also want to live up here in the Powell Butte area, it doesn't have to be necessarily Brasada Ranch, but you still get these panoramic views and you still get this fantastic location here. So we are 20 miles outside of Bend. We're actually closer to Redmond and closer to Prineville in this particular location than we are in Bend. So this gives you guys a better understanding of what else is out here in Powell Butte. We're driving and I'm looking straight on at the Three Sisters right now. I have Mount Bachelor to my left. Truly a remarkable scene here. The views are spectacular. And some of these homes here, they're custom built. Some of them are manufactured, but you get the lots. The house that was listed for sale just a moment ago is 2.3 acres. That gives you guys a lay of the land as to what else is out here, not just including Brasada Ranch, which gets all the notoriety as it relates to Powell Butte right now. So we'll continue on, and we're going to venture over to the small community known as Powell Butte. There's a store, there's a school, there's just a small little town. It's unincorporated, but it's on the way to Prineville, kind of the gateway to Crook County, etc. There's way more to Central Oregon than just the Bend and Redmond area. So that's what we want to feature in today's tour. Okay, so we are in the little community of Powell Butte right now. We're right in between Redmond and Prineville, about 12 miles from Prineville behind me, maybe 9 miles to Redmond straight in front of me. That's looking onto the west here. You can see the panoramic views. We got Powell Butte sloping up. We're on the north side of Powell Butte right here. But it's a small little community here. There's a church, there's a school, there's a community store, a couple little restaurants here and there, but this kind of makes up what Powell Butte, the town, unincorporated town, is all about. So that's going to wrap up today's video. You guys, I'm so glad you're here. You're still watching this video. If you haven't liked the video yet, please like it. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. When it's your time to reach out, please do. Call us, text us, set up that Zoom meeting, hit that Calendly link up in our banner. We covered a lot of ground today. So this was really neat to be able to do this tour of eastern Central Oregon here. We're in Crook County right now, and we were in Deschutes County when we started by Pronghorn. But that gives you guys an idea of what country living to the east of Bend, to the east of Redmond's all about. And there's more than just Bend, there's more than just Redmond, and that's ultimately what our goal is with this channel, to show you everything that is living in Central Oregon. So when it's time for you guys to give us a call, please do so, and we will plan on seeing you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.